We live.
Live. Hey, we live at 5. We know it's been a little bit of time. We're gonna drop a little something on y'all. Hopefully it
It's
can drive
definitely
some
not 5 o'clock.
conversations.
It's
Nah,
definitely not 5
it's a
o'clock.
come on, man. Listen, man, it's a saying. We live at
Not
5.
for the
Like,
sake of the rhyme, bro. I'm not gonna do that for you. Not
yeah,
for the sake of
whatever.
the rhyme.
Anyways, man. We live at 3. We live on channel 9. We live on channel 5. You feel me? That's what I maybe the channel would have made it better. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But today we're gonna jump into a few very important conversations that I think will be able to provide a little bit of texture and uniqueness to the shit that's going on around us in the world that we live in today. You know what I'm saying? Well, I want to start this off by saying rest in peace to Breonna Taylor, rest in peace to George Floyd, rest in peace to Tony McDade. You know what I'm saying?
Put your hair back, bro, from the mic as much as you can.
There you go. Hey, as y'all come in the building, make sure y'all say what's up to the family.
Definitely.
Glad y'all could join us on this Sunday evening. Yeah, I mean, as everything winding down, everybody getting ready to start this reopening week, getting back to work. You know what I mean? Everybody living their life, getting back to work and everything. Let's go ahead and get everything shared.
I'm sharing it right now. Tune in. Yeah, man.
Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button. You know what I'm saying? Y'all make sure I hit that like button, love button.
What's up, Rashad? What's up, Dr. Dancy? What's up, Brandy?
What's good with y'all?
What's going on, y'all?
Glad y'all could join us. It's gonna be an interesting conversation today. We're gonna get it right into it today. I don't think we ain't got no Snapchat. Anything y'all want to introduce in the Snapchat? Y'all got anything y'all want to add Snapchat worthy?
I mean, 31 coming soon, looking good,
Hey.
better.
Hey, okay.
Hey,
Keep it low and slow with the birthday tip because this is an interesting one. It's definitely one with a plot twist, but we out here. You know what I'm saying? If you zoom in real close, you see the graves.
It's around a better time though, because now things is lifting up. Things is opening up out here in Cali, especially in Orange County. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna be honest with you, and I understand too that opening up things don't mean that we definitely out of the threat zone. So I get all that definitely for sure. But at this point, a birthday gift for me from society would be going clothes shopping in a real store. Like I want to do that more than a lot of things in this whole wide world. To just go to a store, try on a garment. You know what I'm saying? See if that thing is the one for me, and hopefully make a purchase or two. So we're gonna see. I got 2 weeks. I got 2 Thursdays. Now, not this Thursday, but the next Thursday.
The next Thursday.
Okay. It's gonna be big. Y'all see what I want. Y'all see the only thing I want.
Look,
it's it.
George,
I didn't roll by my barbershop for a week because they open now. Like they open, and I literally rolled by my barbershop for a week to see if they in there, and they have not came back yet. So. But hey, we got people in the building.
Yeah.
Go ahead and bring us in, George. Get it cracking.
Yeah, man. So what's up, Chop Nation? It's your boy George Lee, aka Conscious Lee. Don't forget the Lee, and you already know you can check me out at georgeleespeaks.com for booking and merch. Who I'm with though?
It's your girl Toya G. Out here this beautiful Sunday night, June the 7th, 2020. We out here trying to make it work 13 days after the tragic passing of George Floyd, about a month, 2.5 months away from the passing, and the murder, let me be precise, of Breonna Taylor. And since then, and between then and before then, a lot of other things happening. So that's where my heart and my mind is at, but we here. You know what I'm saying? We out here.
Hey, it's your boy, the political plug, Damo, we in the building. Rest in peace to, you know what I'm saying, like not even the names that ain't even in the headlines, you feel me? To all of them people that, for whatever reason don't get front page as we, carrying on, you know what I'm saying? Like, the people that's passed in the protests, the people that's passed just from the violence associated with everything that's going on, you know what I mean? The media don't give a fuck, the newspaper not gonna give a fuck, but like, hey, we don't know your name, but our hearts and prayers is with your families, for sure.
Can I ask a question real quick to everybody? I think to set the tone, since we have to, we have our specific topics we're gonna get into, but here's a question for y'all. As every time I feel like these happens, they open up a new or an old wound, one that just really stung. They all hurt, you know what I'm saying? But some of them just really sit with you when you wrestle with them for a long time. Which one or two cases have really, as this we've gotten back into this, has really just reopened for you those wounds of, you know, just remembering how deep this shit really is? There's a couple specific cases that are re-sitting with me now.
Man,
Go ahead.
I'll tell you mine.
Yeah, go ahead.
It's two of them. One is three, and I'll be quick with them. Sandra Bland, that shit was crazy up and down it. You know what I'm saying? Like from the stop to the footage of her being drugged out that police car. You know, she's 6 foot something, and just her body being thrown around like a little rag doll. And then the logic of the picture, you know, her headshot, how haunting that is to see her hair falling back toward the floor and all this and all that. That lady wasn't alive when she took that picture. And then the makeup of her cell, she had a trash bin in there. She had all types of just crazy stuff in her cell that wasn't supposed to be there. Second murder that is vivid to me, and this is where we get into the lower P of policing, not the capital P big police, but the little police that everybody deputized themselves as, you know, because somebody had to make the call to 911, right? Somebody had to, you know, make themselves or edify themselves as the law. A lot of times,
somebody to elevate themselves to that level.
You know what I'm saying? And so I think about Raquel Boyd, somebody who needed help, looking for help, just like, you know what I'm saying, just completely harmless, completely out here looking for somebody to help her and have her back, and got shot on somebody's front porch, you know what I'm saying, because they thought she was a threat. And then the last case that I think about a lot is your boy Kendrick Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, just how illogical, just how stupid do you think we gotta be? You know what I'm saying? So those are the ones that sit with me real rough when we get back to these types of issues.
Yeah.
For me, the one that stand out the most is Tamir Rice. That's the one that fucked me up. That like, even no matter the conversation, it always bring me back to him, because if
kid,
he can be murdered,
for playing,
and that officer not only get off but get another job policing another community.
Yeah, man.
It ain't. I mean, it's easy for them to dismiss George Floyd. You know what I'm saying? Anybody else, it's easy for them to do that, because if you could look at what happened with a 12-year-old with a play gun at a park and say that, you know, he had a reason to be scared, so he don't need to be charged, then like that's a depressing thought. You feel me? So that's the one that opens up. That's the wound that opens up the most for me, dealing with what's going on with George Floyd. I mean, it felt like really that was the one that made me just be like, that's the break.
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
So everything after that is kind of just like,
because it's like shit. We don't. I guess we don't want to just start it off as being just like some black drama porn, but it's like shit. I got 3 of them too. But it's like the first one you said, Toya. I'm from Bryan College Station, Texas, and when Sandra Bland was murdered, it's 45 minutes away where I'm saying born and raised from. You feel me? So when when her, I feel like when things happen, I feel like, and then all the haunting details that followed by. I feel like something else you didn't mention also. There was like the person that did the wife that did the autopsy, husband worked in the, you know what I'm saying? It was like a whole bunch of just funny business all the way around there, man.
Bad business all the way around.
The second one, cause I live in Oklahoma, man. Terrence Crutcher, the black man that got killed with his hands up and his back turned to the police, by Betty Shelby. And Betty Shelby got another job as well, man. Betty Shelby got another job as well. You know what I'm saying? And then the other one that, you know what I'm saying, got me is Terrence Crawford. You feel me? Black dude that had that toy gun up in, you know what I'm saying, up in Target. Got his ass popped. Walmart popped. You feel me? So I think
mean, and in terms of that trauma porn shit,
John Crawford, by the way.
John Crawford.
This is trauma. You feel me? Like for us, like this ain't a question of, you know,
we carry it with us ourselves all the time. You feel me? I was just thinking about it critically. I know folks play us on that shit. You know what I'm saying? Every day. With that being said, hey, shout out to the trolls and the bigots and the bootlickers and the anti-black apologists and the white supremacist sympathizers that's tuning in. Whether you watching live or you watching this shit, you know what I'm saying? Pastime. You feel me? Shout out to y'all.
Right. But I mean, in turn, it's always important to make sure them names aren't forgotten, though.
Most definitely.
But it's the fact that we don't want it to become just a trend. You know what I mean? Like, we don't want these names to just to be associated with hashtags, and then we move on to the next hashtag. You know what I mean? Like all of these names, like we carry whenever we march, whenever we protest, whatever we destroy, we not just destroying it for George Floyd. We destroying it. We're going all the way back to the one that fucked me up the most was what's his name? Sean Bell. He got murdered You said what?
Day before his wedding day?
The day before he was getting married, they killed this
Oh
man.
yeah. They shot him like 100 times, 50 times, 60
Yeah,
times,
like
shot him dead.
97 times. His last words was "I love you."
Yeah, right. So we going all the way back there. You feel me? When we look and see what's going on with George Floyd. You feel me? The fact that I can go back from being young, growing up in Kansas City, one of my sister's friends was killed by the police because he had a butter knife in his front yard.
But hey, shout out to everybody in Bryan College Station, Texas, man. We know how the laws are justify killing somebody on the east side or the west side for being on PCP or because they thought they had a gun or because they was a criminal. We know what time it is, man. R.I.P. to Curtis Hall, Fat A. Y'all know what time it is, man.
I'm gonna bring up, you know what I'm saying, Oscar Grant, just because Lee, I know you remember when we was in Oakland, and we went to go see. And this wasn't even when it happened, right? This Fruitville Station, the movie. We went to go take the kids from ECLI to go to see Fruitville Station. When I tell you, we took 30 kids from an all-black debate camp to go see Fruitville Station, walked out that much. Them kids were ready to fight every white person they saw. It did not matter. We was outside. They was outside the movie theater on the curb, just angry, trembling, shaking, hot, like just howl. And I mean, they were blown. You know what I'm saying? And then by connection, I mean it was just electric. You know what I'm saying? To see. I won't say it was electric. I don't even know if that's the right adjective I want to use, but it was just something in the air, something in the atmosphere, something that I can imagine was in cities across the country.
To me, I think that what became unique is the media having a hard time recognizing that people is not trying to dry ass be appealing to mainstream America and stop trying to crying and whining. Please stop killing us. Please stop killing us. And I seen that once boys switched up the orientation, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like they switched the orientation as well. Because in my mind, to think about it, Minneapolis disbanded the police. Minneapolis disbanded the police.
Hold on, your boy is in the building, bro. Shout out to Chris X.
Say what's up to your boy.
Shout out to Flex, Chris X, man.
Yeah, but go ahead, Judge.
Anyway.
Listen. Hey, niggas like Chris X though, he hop on the comment section, but he don't want to see me in a debate at all. And he try to talk about clout chasing and all that shit. That's that sucker shit, man. Go on, next caller. Like, come on now.
Hey,
come on now.
That's the whole other conversation.
The last thing I'll say too, we can make a distinction. You can disagree with the organization Black Lives Matter, but still agree with the statement that Black Lives Matter. So even with that sucker shit.
Hold on, bro. Because I gotta say this. And then you can cap it off to you.
Yeah.
The fact that you could even fix your fucking fingers to type that out.
Semantics. That's that fake YouTube conspiracy Indian.
I know, because I want to put it up here. Put it up here.
Because he'll try to delete the shit. That's what he'll do. You feel me? He don't want to delete it. That's what he'll do. He'll delete it. Put that shit up there, man, for everybody to see.
You know what I'm saying? This is my only thing about that. Even like George said, even if you disagree with George, because I know you think George Soros funds Black Lives Matter. That's why he's saying that.
Whatever.
Even though you feel that way, the fact that you willing to type that out, to say that statement.
Orc shit.
That's fuck shit. You feel me? That's some whole ass shit. Go ahead.
That's something the colonizer would say.
I'm actually good.
Hey,
and shout out to CC in the comments showing love though. We ain't finna give Chris all that bump. You know what I'm saying?
CC, shout out to you.
Definitely gonna show the love too.
So it is what it is.
Go ahead, get into it.
You said what?
Go ahead, let's get into it.
Well, we'll go ahead and I'll start y'all off with the reality chop. I'm gonna go ahead and set the stage. I might be talking for a moment, but y'all rock with me. If I had to call this reality chop anything, it would be the apology. But if I had to give it a subtext, right, I would give it a subtext of the white apology. But if I had to give it a subtext,
the
sincere white apology. And here's why it's unrolling how it has. So this whole Black Lives Matter situation, much like COVID did with a lot of businesses and stuff like that, allowed for us to see people's true colors in relationship to these issues, right? A lot of people have come out on their own and made statements about how they feel, and we've been able to peep their politics and and a lot of people's hand have been forced. Like, how do you feel? What you saying? Speak out, right? And they've showed their hand. And so we've seen black people. I don't know if y'all seen on Twitter who some little young up and coming comedians. Drew,
man, Desi, B. Simone, goddamn, man,
all types of Trina, all types of celebrities. I can't even keep track of the list of people who done got ate up during this whole catastrophe.
Got it wrong. Just got it
wrong. Trina, the baddest bitch, correlated niggas to animals.
My God.
And said go to the zoo.
My God. Right. And so it's a whole lot of irritability, but not a lot of them are apologizing, right? They're taking the approach of sticking to their guns, sticking to what they're saying. So cool. Then you got a lot of white businesses, like white organizations telling on themselves, right? Exposing themselves, telling how they feel, whatever. Nobody's really apologizing for their statements. Mm-hmm. So we got the apology. We got the white apology, which is like the corporate apology. We'll call it
two, you know. It's like Meek Mill says levels to this shit. It's levels to them apology.
Can I take you on another level before we open it up to the people to talk to us?
Yeah, another level.
We're gonna take it down a deeper level to the sincere white apology. And this is where we want to talk about young men like Drew Brees, right?
Drew Brees.
Of the San Antonio, the New Orleans Saints. I don't know. I was giving
New Orleans Saints, the quarterback from South Lake Curl, Texas.
Now, in light of everything, I know y'all saw Drew Brees' comments. He first came out in relationship to everything. It was talking about the flag and talking about how important it is to protest that, yada, 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 and people got on his ass, right? The second thing that he did after people got on his ass, his people in his locker room abandoned him, whatever, media ate him up, is he released another comment, wrote it out.
Another one.
A second comment. And I was, my bad. You know what I'm saying? And definitely Jacoby, these PWIs been telling all on themselves because they all full of shit. And people got receipts like, nah. But after he released the second comment, the man followed up with a video.
With a video, man.
Then
Drew Brees trying to win the Super Bowl, man.
Listen, Mahomes in the way. But here's what you gotta understand. After the video, the nigga tweeted Donald Trump.
Tweeted him. He must have seen Donald Trump was trying to use his whiteness to be like, nah, Donald Trump ain't finna play me, bro.
Then his wife made a comment.
Oh, I ain't know his wife made a comment.
His wife just popped in and jumped in and be like, that's not who we are. We're good people. We support the movement. Support college.
Shit.
Brittany Breeze is not playing, okay? She's not about to lose any of this endorsement money, these checks, this support.
We ain't going fast.
The starting quarterback position to no Jameis Winston is unacceptable, right? So they fighting because you know Jameis is in the locker room now with the Saints. So he's just ready to go ahead and take, because trust has been broken in the locker room. He's ready to go ahead and be the starting quarterback.
Most definitely is. Most definitely. Huh.
I'm about to open it up to y'all. But my question real quick to you is, what do we do with the white apology? What do we do with the sincere white apology? Right? In a lot of ways, people have said, Drew Brees, you fucked up the money. Like all of those posts I told you that have been put out, under every post is people that's like, nope, too late. You done. We done what you played yourself.
See, for me, I think even though I threw out a joke.
Hey, Chris, here's the thing. Just click the X, bro, and you can leave. You can leave. You don't have to stick around at all. You know what I'm saying? Like, go where you're celebrated and not tolerated. Yeah, I mean, you can go ahead.
You said something else?
He said that's all we talk about BS or something like that. Don't participate, but you can get out my comment.
Yeah.
Move around.
Yeah. But I think that when it comes to Drew Brees, man, usually you would want to assume that because a person is around black people and they grew up around black people their whole entire life, that would mean that they have some type of understanding of the black struggle or the black reality. Yeah. And it's like, shit, though Drew Brees been playing football and big time football for pretty much all his life, we see that, you know, if you knew better, you would do better. Or if you know what I'm saying, created more meaningful relationships, it's like, hey, listen, man, for the past 15 years, all he been doing is throwing the ball to niggas.
Before his professional career.
Like, come on now, you know what I'm saying? So
that means no excuse? That means
to me, I think that it kind of raises the threshold a little bit higher because he doesn't have the excuse to say he doesn't have a proximity to blackness of black people. These who you've been in the trenches with for the past 30 years. So for me, it almost felt like, man, the backlash, and this time you recognize, because let's be real, that ain't the first time he done said some shit about putting patriotism symbols, putting American symbols before black people. He felt comfortable saying it because he said it before. In my opinion, I felt like the climate changed and he seen the backlash was more real, and it was like, hey man, this is I already got 2 years left in the league. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. I can't piss the niggas off. And in my mind, the apology, it seems so forced. You feel me? But so I got mixed feelings on it. It's being real. I got mixed feelings on it, and I think that all black people kind of allowed to just feel different ways about Drew Brees coming out and how he came out.
So I want to jump on these mixed feelings and combine this with Nick's comments Nick's comment in the comments, right? So Maya Angelou taught us best: when someone shows you who they are, believe them. Nick has said you charge them back with actions, leverage their power to achieve something specific and purposeful. And so
That's
I
real,
guess
Nick.
Is if you've already showed me who you are, should I not believe you? And then what does that mean in relationship to you, maybe these actions you're talking about? So if Drew Brees come up tomorrow and say, I got $2 million going to Colin Kaepernick's Know Your Rights campaign, so that he can continue the efforts there. Is it already dead? Because a lot of people
I don't think it's dead. That's why I got mixed feelings on it. I don't think it's dead at all. I don't think it's dead. You know what I'm saying? You know,
so I had some technical difficulties. We talking about Drew
Brees apology, and if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, like Toya, because I feel like you had a nuanced question. Like, what did you ask me or ask the people?
Well, I asked the question, what do you do in a world where, you know, the philosophy that Maya laid out for us is if somebody shows you who they are, believe them, are actions of repentance, right? Remember, we've been taught, like, not only if you grew up in the church like I did, right, to repent means to not only acknowledge that you did something wrong, but apologize for it and then turn from your wicked ways, right? There's a series of actions.
Yeah.
And so even when we tell our kids, like, we say apologize, we say, okay, what you do wrong? Say it. Then say, okay, I apologize. Look him in the eye. Be serious. He literally made a video saying, writing it down wasn't enough. I'm gonna look you in your eye and tell you I'm sorry.
Oh yeah.
So how do we deal with the white apology in 2020 when this issue in the NFL specifically has been years coming, socially been decades, hundreds of years coming? How do we deal with that apology? Like, what do we do?
I think we, in my eyes, I think we create a clear, bright line on what it takes for that apology to actually mean something. Drew Brees has to advocate for Colin Kaepernick to be reinstated in the NFL.
Okay, I mean,
and he got to put that bread down for Colin Kaepernick. What you call?
I mean, the bread too, but see, the bread is the easy part. We can't let them get away with that. The bread is the easy part.
That's why I said and.
It's the political capital. You feel me? Because in terms of the apology, I think in terms of his sincerity, I do think Drew Brees is a white man. You feel me? And questions of race and that type of shit that are involved in understanding the ways in which what's happening with George Floyd and what happened with Colin Kaepernick are connected. Because I think white people at first wasn't thinking, oh, that was the same thing. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely don't. I agree. Did not connect the dots, even seeing it was a knee. To this day, it's folks to be more pissed off at Colin Kaepernick's knee than they is at the knee that killed George Floyd.
But see, that's what I'm saying. The knee is so ironic. Right.
To me, that was captivating me too. Like, damn, a knee
for it.
It brings a knee brings it full circle.
Full circle, man.
I know y'all saw that picture, you know, the political cartoon of Colin Kaepernick on taking a knee, and underneath him, where you would think George Floyd's body, where George Floyd's body was, is actually a police officer. Right. And so it's like Colin Kaepernick taking a knee on the police. Right. And it's like, now does it make sense to you? Is the connection being made to you?
Because that was the political cartoon they were saying. Like, I get that. That's like genius. Like,
you know what I'm saying?
It was that deep.
But that's the connection. You feel me? It is dawning on them. It's clicking to the point where I don't know if y'all seen or if y'all had discussed before after I fell off the NFL players video. Where they was like,
no, we have not discussed it.
We haven't discussed it.
We have not.
Okay, so I mean, you got everybody. You got everybody from Patrick Mahomes. You know what I'm saying, to the names that you know that's always speaking up. Like all the NFL stars are saying, what if I was George Floyd? What if that was me? Would it matter then? Because it can be.
And to me, going that deep, where it's just like, we see that y'all got a real fungible or like a real commodified ass understanding of black people. You only like us when you, like, to me, it's like that same 6'3", 270 frame, you cheering for them, they good. but they don't on your team no more. They just a miscellaneous ass black person that's 250, 6'3". All of a sudden they a threat. You feel me? And in my mind, it's like, what does it mean for a superstar to say, what if I? Because to me, it's like, you know who that message
What if that
to?
was
That's
me?
to the main consumers of the NFL, them white folks.
And that's what they were saying, bro. They were saying, what if it was us? You feel me?
Sad,
which in
bro.
turn made Roger Goodell have to completely pivot. So I mean, because I want to juxtapose those two now. The idea that in the same week that we got Drew Brees apologizing for making statements about the flag, not understanding its implications with the George Floyd protest, that you got the NFL commissioner who spoke out against Colin Kaepernick for protesting, sided with the president, sided with racists, sided with everybody that was there to just demean a man for protesting, took away the entire context. And now this same organization is doing an about face. The NFL is doing an about face and saying we were wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Like, no shit.
We
Sherlock.
did it wrong. We misunderstood.
What are you
know
saying?
What, I mean?
What you guys say, Toya?
I just want to get these comments because a lot of them are shaping the direction I'm trying to go in. Ig says, why he get a chance to apologize? Where is his turn from wicked ways? Which I want to get to. I have a question regarding this. Tiffany says, I'm personally not taking apologies, but we'll take support for the cause. Stand with us, protest for change, but keep your apologies. Jacoby says, systematic change got to happen. You got to be about it.
Got to happen, man.
And then Asia says, once I see your true colors, it becomes the lens through which I relate to you. So it changes the threshold one has to meet for trust endorsements to come from me. Okay. All of those lead me to the question, what for you, and I would love to hear in the comments, what for you was the threshold of it? Because what of change, right? What is enough? What are corrective actions? And I think you all kind of mentioned them, so I want to hone in on those. But what are corrective actions that are good enough? Because I think what happens with the good enough conversations is it 2 million or is it 5 million or is it 10? Like it becomes very arbitrary. You know what I mean?
Agree.
And so it becomes weird. I mean, think about it. Michael Jordan had to drop 100 million for his legacy to be intact, right?
Yeah.
In case I didn't know, Michael Jordan.
He had to.
Years.
He had to.
He had to. Right.
To me, after he made that documentary, he said, "I'm not a politician. I'm an athlete." When he said that in that shit, and he said, "Man, I didn't take it. I'm not recounting the statements. I said it on this, that, and the other. I just think that I never." He said that. He like, you gotta come with it now, Mike.
And so, you know, in a world where the proof is pudding, what y'all want and y'all putting from Drew Brees? What do you think a meaningful corrective gesture is in the face of this misstep, this slippage, and this exposure of his true politics? In the comments, y'all holler at me too.
I mean, from my perspective, on surface level, I want to say, and I'll say it again, advocate for Colin Kaepernick to get back in the NFL. You know what I'm saying? Like that's something that's important. But in terms of the overall issue, right? Because like Colin Kaepernick getting back in the NFL just symbolizes an injustice that was done to one person. Overall, though, it's what orientation does the organization that you are part of have towards the community that it makes its money off of.
And with that being said, I can go and throw my proof in the pudding in there. Drew Brees got some roots in Texas, you feel me? In like the Dallas area, DFW, Fort Worth area. He can start off by investing some money in that area, and he can keep on going by sharing his platform. You feel me? Mr. Drew Brees, NFL, being in the Super Bowl, all that shit. He can share that platform with a grassroots movement organizer, with a community organizer, with the nonprofit organization that's in the area that he come from, in the area he at. Shit, he owe a lot to the New Orleans community. So
that's
shit,
what I'm saying.
Black folks
because they can definitely need it.
Yeah,
they can definitely need it.
Me? And to me, it's like, okay, you got an Instagram page. You see how many likes Instagram page you got? All right, boom. So shit, turn it over to somebody else, man. It's guaranteed to you. And Damo, it's somebody that's like-minded, you feel me, that really be on, like, they're not talking about black life when it's trendy, you feel me? They're talking about black life every day, winter, spring, and fall. He can go find a person like that in New Orleans, you feel me, and give him some bump. You feel me?
I don't disagree with any of those things. The two simplest ways, the two simplest gestures that I think need to be made is that he should not make another social media address or post until he says Colin Kaepernick's name. Like, just don't talk about nothing else.
Yeah.
Like, I want to hear from it. Then the second gesture I want to see when the NFL season start and they say in the land of the free, I want you on your knee. I want you on your knee. I want you to get down on your knee and participate in protest of the politics that ain't gonna change overnight. And since no check you can write is gonna change the politics overnight, I want you down on your knee.
Take it. Hey,
material and structural change happens in the city of New Orleans, in the state. You can pick which, you know what I'm saying, the Texas, but down on that.
Feel me? Hey,
come on out.
Then
come on out.
All season.
You know what I'm saying? With all the other black players, you want to be down with the locker room solidify. They going down this season. It's gonna be NFL protests on that knee.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Because I definitely want to underpin that with a very important understanding of like the role of public figures in the United States. Because as much as I'm anti-celebrity, I understand celebrities and what they represent. You feel me?
Definitely.
Like you are a figure. You feel me? You mean, especially a quarterback. Like let's talk about culture here.
A quarterback
in the NFL. A Super Bowl winning quarterback. Never won an MVP though. That's why you ain't.
Yeah.
You know, but I mean,
I get it in just back.
Right. And so the influence that you have in opening people's eyes in terms of,
and you in a black city. Shout out to New Orleans. You in a black city. You feel me?
Right.
Predominantly black.
Like,
everybody in the 504.
That type of community building, that type of, you know what I'm saying, relationality, like calming certain shit down, especially at a time where that black-white divide is extremely stark. You feel me? And it's extremely volatile. You know what I mean? I do think that he did the right thing in terms of pushing back against Donald Trump and saying no.
And to me, I feel like him being where he's from and being where he at, it meant a lot. He pissed off a lot of his high school people, a lot of his high school fans, his college fans, and his current fans going to the president like that.
I mean, it's a lot of people piss off a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? Jeff Bezos released his back and forth conversation with whoever Amazon patron who's just like, I don't think you need to be pushing your political agenda. You don't have to say Black Lives Matter. You should say. And Jeff Bezos was like, no,
and
and the header on Amazon is Black Lives Matter.
That's fact. And this is another thing that they all can fucking do. Fund those bail funds, those legal support funds.
Your money where your mouth
you know what I'm saying? Put your money there.
Too, Damo, why I feel like it's got to be a package, because we understand how for some people it'll be real easy for you to throw some money at some shit. And for other people, it'd be easy for you to screenshot an email and fucking put it on your Instagram page. Simple. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it has to be a culmination of a lot of different actions, a lot of different stances, a lot of different things that you done did. You feel me? Because in my mind, it's like shit. I'm gonna save it. But remember this conversation right here. You feel me? Now I'm gonna save it when we get into the conference shop. So I want you to see that I'm being fair when it comes to being an ally and being an accomplice. When it comes to doing shit that you ain't got nothing to do for. You feel me? But you putting yourself on the line to lose some shit. Lose some family members, lose some friends, lose some jobs. In my mind, that's what it means to really ride for some shit. Especially if you're going to be on some shit that make people uncomfortable, that make people, you know what I'm saying, feel like fuck you in every instance because you said this or you said that. In my mind, what you got to do?
I mean, because here's the gotcha. And here's what I think the NFL hopefully understands about this, because they lost a lot of fans. I know people who ain't watched the NFL since they did Colin Kaepernick bad and been like, oh yeah, your team won. That's cool. I had a lot of those types of conversations. Like, I can't believe you really watch football. And I'm like, I know, I got my week. You know there's no ethical consumption of the capitalism. But the other side of it, so you know, the NFL lost a lot of fans. I'm sustaining that. But what people don't realize, take a stand, is that you end up gaining a whole lot of fans to replace the people that you lost. And so it's a whole lot of white people up in arms about the fact that, I can't believe you gave Aaron Rodgers. I don't care. I can't believe you did this. I can't believe the NFL.
Donald Trump being one of them.
Come on. And now, you know what I'm saying? You either getting your fanship back or you're getting people to watch the league and watch games that would not have it before, maybe because you have made these types of gestures. Before I close this out, I want to hear from y'all real quick. This ain't got to do with apology, but it has to do with the statements that have been made. Whose statement has been kind of the single most disappointing to you?
Single most disappointing.
Be a business or organization or individual. I'll go first. Lil Wayne. Get over it, my nigga. You was 12 and you shot yourself. A white cop saved your life. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for him. You call this man Uncle Bob. Don't nobody give a shit about that no more. Over the every time somebody get killed, they turn the mic on and ask you what's going on with police brutality.
And you say some wild shit.
No, not even wild shit. You continue to parrot the idea that all white cops can't be bad because this one cop saved your life. Don't nobody care about your tokenistic experience. Don't nobody care about the fact that somebody did their damn job. Don't nobody care about the fact that you actually had the opportunity to see what policing was supposed to look like and you want to negate that and deny that experience for other people. I do not care anymore and I'm sick of you. And I say that because I was singing Ice Cream Paint Job from the bottom of my heart yesterday and then got on Instagram and seen what you said and I hated your guts and I hated the fact that I love your music, but I hate your opinion about police brutality.
The remix king.
Shut up. All right, who y'all got?
Man, shit. Hey, this one right here, I feel like y'all gonna really be like, man, George, I don't even know why you gave that person the time of the day. But check this out though. This George Floyd death been a real humanizing thing. So it make even the ops on the other side of the aisle that have a crazy ideology towards black folks been able to say even something humane. The fact that Candace Owens is on some conservative clout chasing, bootlicking, white supremacist sympathizing, anti-black apologist, shitting on this man, calling him a criminal, this, that, and the other, and she support a whole ass criminal as the president, to me, it's like, Candace Owens, you can have several seats down. Because it's like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we know that Donald Trump is implicated in not only a whole bunch of civil suits in terms of, you know what I'm saying, discrimination. We know this man's name is on the paper when it comes to being a pedophile and a rapist.
Well, I mean, let's not mention the new conversations about Lindsey Graham, Lady G out here, and there's some connections to Trump as well. That's just some different business with some political top stuff that we not gonna talk about this week. Guarantee. Look up Lindsey Graham and how.
I don't even know what you're talking about. I don't know about Lindsey Graham. I looked that one up.
Senator Lindsey Graham has been exposed over the weekend for participating in facilitation with gay men, with people, with sex workers who are not only men, which is fine. You can be gay. That's your business. You can even participate in sex work. We believe that that's.
But we know your politics.
But we know your politics.
Number one, and let me make the most important point clear to you.
Donald Trump is gay, homosexual. He touched on little boys. I seen the papers.
Exactly, and the fact the issue is that there are children being implicated in a lot of these.
He paid the money too.
Huh?
And he paid the money out too.
Well,
he paid $5 million, $3 million.
The plot is thick, and my point is, you got a lot of people out here on some shaky ground who got a lot of strong opinions about some shit that they don't got a room to be able to make. So,
talking about what the pot trying to call the kettle blackhead ass. You feel me? You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna have to say
that follow Candace Owens, like that's y'all really wilding.
Just you ain't lying, man.
The worst statements for me had to be from fuck. Now I was gonna say. At first, it was a toss-up between T.I. and Killer Mike, but I think
they capitalists. I expected that for them. They capitalists.
No, fuck all that. No, fuck all that.
Price.
Because Killer Mike's not a capitalist though. Like he's a Bernie Sanders supporter. He's not so he don't push himself off as a capitalist like that, and he carries himself, and that's why I'm gonna say I'm about to go with Killer Mike being the most disappointing. In terms of his statement,
because I guess
like that whole, for example, in his show, the shit he got on Netflix, I forget the name of it. When he did the trigger warning, when he did the whole shit with the gangs with the blood and the Crips, right? That was all a blow and a challenge to respectability politics and how that shit work in black communities and the distinction between gangs and politicians and corporate shit, and the only difference between the two being a LLC. You know what I'm saying? Like that's it. And so for you to recognize the danger of respectability politics in black communities, and then play into respectability politics and understanding the ways in which these protests are taking place, this revolution, this rebellion is taking place. You feel me? Then that's why I got a problem with you. That's some sucker sellout shit. T.I., he a capitalist. T.I.'s a rapper. Capitalist. That's a rubber band man. You feel me? It's about the check. With Killer Mike, bro, you posit yourself as somebody that like
and so it's a real
that's not you.
Shit. So it's like
you know what I'm saying?
I am completely disgusted that they can make all these criticisms, can understand the plight, understand the frustration, can be voices and leaders and still be touting all this vote shit. Now, I'm pretty sure we're going to be having huge and long conversations about the importance of the ballot, particularly now that the stakes are extreme.
Yeah, definitely. How's they ever been?
But in the face of angry, hurt, fueled young people in his city, his solution was the only way we're gonna fix this is to show up in November. Let's shut up, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and to Iggy, go. Iggy said Master P. What did Master P say?
I was gonna say, what did Master P say?
What did Master?
Bro?
I'm sorry, Toy. I mean to cut you off, but Master P said something. What did Master P say? I know he's a capitalist too, but damn. Yeah, Iggy, we need you to type that one up. I'm sorry, Toy. I did not mean to cut you off. That caught me off guard, though. Like, man,
link in the chat. Link in the chat. Yeah, put the link in the chat.
Yeah, put the link in the chat. Goddamn.
Go ahead, Toy.
No, I mean that was that for me, but shit, it just a lot of people are surprised and have been highly disappointed. So I mean, keep telling on yourself so I can figure out.
So actually too, I feel like B Simone and Trina too. It kind of was like
I don't know who B Simone is.
B
So
Simone,
you
don't be on social media. That's all.
You ain't never heard baby girl. Oh my
baby
god,
girl. Oh my god.
God.
Oh my god, baby girl. Let me
tell you
something, baby girl.
I only know the shit from I only know the shit from TikTok. The if 2 + 2 is 4.
And that's B Simone too. You feel me?
That's all I know from her.
But listen, Damo, that's how I would say it, Damo. A person that has made a lot of money off of the more ratchet tropes of being a black woman, you feel me? As somebody that has literally been able to monetize, you know what I'm saying, being an angry black woman, essentially. You know what I'm saying? Then B Simone.
Oh yeah.
B Simone, like
oh yeah. And then my favorite part.
This the time to be ratchet right here. All that shit you was talking. This the time right now. She went Christian on us. I'm praying for him.
And I think the most important thing was her and Desi both represented the hood boys and the hood girls.
Hood comedy.
Certain situations. And the niggas from the hood was out at the protest. They was setting shit out. They was vibing and rocking for their people. And so you would have been better off making videos or making something like that.
At the protest.
You know what I'm saying? Keep us laughing through these hard times or whatever, or even just take it serious and be like, hood niggas be like, and then nothing was funny about it, and they be about their hood.
You feel me?
That was a wise plot twist over the bullshit y'all did. Drewski went to the protest, got the opportunity to get on camera, and he fucked up 2 ways. Number one,
who?
Drewski.
Who is that?
Okay, so Drewski. Too funny be on there. He's popping up on Twitter getting live. He's a dude that be acting like Cal Roger. So he does little impressions of the college white boy. Like he's like a black dude. Okay, so he goes and ends up with some camera time and is like, I forget what word he messes up, but he thinks it's funny to like get up there and like act like he doesn't know what's going on and be a complete fucking caricature of a nigga just out in the middle of the drama not doing nothing. And it's like making fun of and making light of the
Amber just sent me a text. Shout out to Amber. She watching.
Definitely. And made fun of the whole situation. Then on top of that, what I heard was, and especially when you were picking these riots, I think he was down probably in Atlanta or something like that. Don't matter where he was at, but he was trying to sell weed to niggas at the protest. Like, bruh, you cannot have illegal shit when these protests is this thick like that. When they
what that being said, if y'all
they already criminalized them.
The DEA has already been told to literally be looking at footage and to be monitoring protesters for illegal drugs.
Like, come on, bro. And so, like, they out, like, why? Just double fold out here playing us at this. This is an opportune time for us to make revolutionary statements, to make critical statements about what's popping, and you playing games. Like, I don't play with that. So these people follows that got cut overnight. Like, it's been crazy.
Shucking and jiving. Oh yeah, shucking and jiving out here, man.
You know what? And
word, but my God, like.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, it was crazy is that then you end up just sticking the mic in front of this random black kid, and this nigga just say nothing but facts, like
dropping them.
Why y'all talking about what you know? What I'm saying what we doing? You feel me? Like why they killing us? Like why we always on the news? Why is
we
this
ain't
always
do this?
us?
We ain't do this. The police.
Like shit, I mean, and that's the problem that I have with that's why I say celebrities is. I mean, even Miss Malaysia. Or I think like she won Miss Universe or whatever. She was up there talking about. Shut up. And you know what? This is what because this is kind of what pissed me off. It's put me in a fucked up position. And
then let's transition out of this to the next thing because we've been talking.
I'm gonna say this and we can move on. when Laura Ingraham was like, LeBron should shut up and dribble, right? At
Yeah.
first you be like, nah, that's fucked up. They should be able to speak out and all this other shit. But then these people who's supposed to make us laugh, who entertain us, come out and say the shit that they say.
Yeah.
You can't help but be like,
hey, just stick
shut
to
up. Be funny, bro. Just be funny. We don't want you to do that.
And listen, and right now, my nigga, it's not a time to be funny. So don't say nothing that
you know what I'm saying? Like,
no pressure.
Just get out the way.
No pressure.
Get out the way.
No pressure.
Like LeBron, like when LeBron speaks up, like his shit is impactful. You know what I'm saying? Except the China shit. He was on
China
some bullshit
shit.
with the China
shit.
But
He's trying to get the bag on that one.
You know what I'm saying? Usually when he get involved, it's impactful. But other than that, like it's like if you ain't got nothing to say and you a person of stature, you feel me? And you ain't got nothing to say that's gonna move the shit forward or in solidarity with the people that's being, you know what I'm saying, marginalized or the people that's protesting, just shut up. If you not, just get out the way. We don't want no opinion. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause it's not gonna help you. You're gonna be on the wrong side of history.
I'm gonna tell y'all too, because I agree 1000%. I'm gonna tell y'all what my topic is gonna be next time, so that because it's gonna be kind of in the line of this, but I'm gonna put a pin in it right here.
I'm gonna write it
the
down.
one person we have not talked about. You said what?
I'm gonna write it down just in case you change it.
Write it down. I'm not gonna say. The one person who has not been a part of this conversation that we have got to talk about. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
It's Kanye West.
Yes. I haven't been in Bronx conversation. He hasn't.
Oh no, we got to talk about the what he has.
The new shit that I've seen. Yeah, the new shit. Yeah, we got to talk about that. I think that we should do that on Tuesday when the kids is, you know what I'm saying, they do it on Tuesday. We don't wait till Thursday for that week. When I seen the shit I seen, it was like, so you trying to tell me you spooked this shit about no the whole time?
We'll talk about Kanye soon, but I want y'all to be thinking about those types of politics and where they fit in the movement and what that looks like for where we're trying to go. In the meantime, pay attention to these people that are exposing themselves. If someone shows you who they are, believe them. The first time.
Yeah.
The first time.
Yeah, man.
What up, George?
Hey, with that being said, man, and somebody do me a favor and Damo and shoot my wife a text because I got my phone on airplane. I thought my phone about text be going to my watch. You know what I'm saying? You know, but it's not. She sent me a text. Yes, do me that favor, man. But listen, we're gonna call this the conscious chop, and I'm gonna preface this because you know what I'm saying. Shout out to my fellow West Side partner Chris X. You know what I'm saying. I'm gonna preface this with this right here. You feel me? When it comes to the sentiment of Black Lives Matter, you are allowed to make some distinctions. You feel me? If you want to be critical for what the Black Lives Matter as an organization, what they do, who they get their money from, how they move, who they support, who they endorse, you got that. That's fine. You feel me? But I think you can't be on no selfish shit and say that you disagree with the statement that Black Lives Matter. Right? Yeah. With that being said, when we say Black Lives Matter, when we say hashtag Black Lives Matter, when we put it on t-shirts, there is no asterisk. Right. With that being said, Breonna Taylor, Black woman in Louisville, Kentucky, EMT, not just the EMT, an award-winning EMT, you know what I'm saying? First responder, was murdered in her own home because the police had a no-knock warrant and went into the wrong home. And the boyfriend shot a warning shot at the floor. And as a result, the police I can't think of how many shots they shot, but I know 8 of them hit Breonna Taylor in her own home.
Hey, some crazy number of shots too. They said when her reports, I said it was bullets and bullet holes in places that don't even make no sense. They said it was bullets in the soap. They said it was bullets in the cereal. You know what I'm saying? Like literally bullets and bullet fragments in places that it's just like, what in the world happened?
They was dumping.
They dumped on it.
They were dumping.
Dumped so much that Breonna got hit 8 times. She was asleep. She was asleep when she got hit. You feel me? The reason why I prefaced this was saying there is no asterisk when we talk about Black Lives Matter is because Breonna's death happened before George Floyd. And I think that I try to listen to Black women as much as I can. You know what I'm saying? My wife probably would say I don't listen enough. But you feel me? Anyway, I listen to Black women as much as I can. And what I recognize is that when it comes to the pain and suffering of Black men and how it mobilizes the Black community compared to the pain and suffering of Black women and the lack of how it mobilizes the Black community. What is y'all thoughts on this analysis, this right here, right now?
It's just so stark. You know what I'm saying? I think it's like pain. It's like the painful silence in comparison to now. We'll say I went to 2 protests on Saturday, and I heard just as much Breonna Taylor as George Floyd. So I think we have started to really massage this in that, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is equal opportunity oppression right here that we can't go lightly. I think we've started to do that as a collective pretty decently, because I was very impressed with the names and but this is Southern California. This was, I heard some trans names in there and some trans chants. I heard, you know what I'm saying? Like, so just their relationship to.
Yeah. Well, you in California, man. I'm in Oklahoma.
And I'm at protests where, the minority is Black people, right? These are, okay. So my protest orientation is quite interesting.
You was in Orange County, right?
I'm in Orange County, California.
Yeah,
and I did.
Orange County, yeah.
Fulton is like northern Orange County on the way to LA, like kind of as you start to get to South LA on the way up. So it's a little cuspy, so it's a little bit more ratchet. It was a little bit more of a ratchet affair because but I went deep, like under Irvine.
Okay.
Right? A suburb of Irvine in Lake Forest. And out there.
Here's my question. Question.
Hold on, you was in Lake Forest.
Lake Forest.
Yeah, okay. That's deep.
They got down there. It was 1,000 people out there in no counter protest in the heart of conservative red Orange County.
I'm about to say,
and please understand.
You in?
Yeah, please understand.
You're not in the blue California.
We're not talking about. You feel me? This is exactly this red California. This money.
I'm gonna tell you how.
It's old California. This is Ronald Reagan country. Man.
Listen, and so because there was a level of danger, right, going to protest in LA. Right, there was a level of unpredictability, whatever. It's a different but a very serious level of danger to go and protest in Orange County.
Here's my question.
Right in Long Beach.
Here's my question.
What's up?
Do we think that the Black community relates to black women being victims of police brutality the same as it does Black men being police brutality? Am I making this up? Am I trying to make something of nothing, or is it something here?
No, you're not making something of nothing. And I'm gonna tell you why. Even in well-intentioned conversations, the truth is in the slippages, right? Even in the best well-intentioned conversations about Black lives, it's Black men. We gotta fight for our Black men. Black men are dying in the streets. It's Black men. And so our hearts and our intentions are to be all-encompassing, to deal with Breonna, to prioritize her, but the truth is in the slippages. You know what I'm saying? And so the reason why we have Say Her Name is largely because we weren't putting a whole lot of attention on it. But even Say Her Name is important in these conversations where we're meaning to be all encompassing. But you tell it's working and massaging out that language, and people don't think it's important, but it is because you
definitely important.
Even look at every hashtag list you look at. It's not never equal. It's always 1 or 2 women, a trans person, and a bunch of men.
Yeah.
And so people will say it's the unfortunate nature of it. But I posted a list not too long ago at Toya G on Instagram of over 100 women and girls who have been killed and brutalized by the police. You know what I'm saying? So the number, don't let the numbers. I ain't gonna say don't let the numbers fool you. Don't assume you know the numbers, right? We need to be having a more equitable conversation about the women who are being brutalized and murdered by the police, and it's just not happening. It's in the slippages.
I would say, and a large portion of that is due to the fact that too much of these narratives we don't control. It's like too much of what is marketable we don't control. You know what I'm saying? Because what's like, what happened to Breonna Taylor was tragic, but it's the liberal narrative of the Black man being brought down, being tore down. You feel me? Like that's the easy shit to run with. That's they targeting Black men, they killing the Black men, they, you know what I mean? And it's a part of like how it's a part of the spectacle. The Black men being killed is a part of the spectacle. The Black woman being killed is just like it's an afterthought. You feel me? It's like, damn, that's sad. That's fucked up. Even though happening to the. Go ahead.
No. Even though what's happening, what?
Yeah, what's happening to the sisters is even more fucking tragic. You got to look at like with George Floyd. We are talking about a circumstance where he was a brute. They scared of the Black man. They this, they that. In this issue, they have no excuse. What happened to
it's like literally
Tati
they killed her and it was like, oops, I'm sorry.
But I mean, and what's her name? Tatiana Jefferson. Tatiana Jefferson.
Yeah, Tatiana Jefferson.
Tatiana Jefferson. Atiana Jefferson.
Atiana Jefferson.
What happened to her? It's these are instances where that's some shit. Bro, you shot her through the window. You feel me?
Shot her through the window in her own crib, and then you try to bring up a gun that was in her home that she legally had after the fact you killed her.
There's no justification of a past criminal behavior. There's no justification of being terrified for your life. There's no justification of resisting arrest, right? This is literally negligence at a bare minimum. Because if we juxtapose what happened to Breonna Taylor to what happened to the white woman in Minneapolis with the Somali American Muslim cop, he killed that white woman.
So he's at jail.
Got what? I think he got 12. Yeah, either 12 or 15 years. You feel me?
Something up in there.
You know what I mean? The fact that they had the audacity
think about that though. He got sentenced worse in Minneapolis than Amber Geiger got sentenced in Dallas, in a state in Texas that's supposed to be way more harsher for shit like that, for murder.
Bro, and that's why, as much as we can look at what's happening with black people, and let's say black men in the police, right? As much as we can look at that and say, man, that's an explicit instance of racism. You feel me? Like, that's crazy. The fact that we don't have that same energy for when it's even more gratuitous and more negligent with black women is frightening. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's depressing because it's like, what more? Like, do we need to, like, how else do we break that down? And just like, and I'll say this, and you got it, Toya. Like you said, the reason why I brought up who controlled that narrative is because when you go to the protest, you hear Breonna Taylor's name. You hear like the other names that are involved in what's been happening. Most of the time, when you see black people even putting a name on anything, it's full of names. It's a list of names. You know what I'm saying? Even King Bach, like, his poem was like, I mean, stick to comedy. Like, I mean, appreciate it. It was real. It was heartfelt. I'm glad you did it.
Heartfelt,
bro.
Yeah.
I'm glad you did it. You feel me? But it was like he had names.
Came with dope. Deontay Wilder, hey, his shit was clean.
You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But when we do it, we listing names. We're not saying, oh, it's this instance. The reason why it becomes about the black man is because the black man has a represents a spectacle. His death represents a spectacle in the media that they can hold, that they can grasp onto, that they can run with the narrative with, and that's what end up getting spread. We know what's up.
R.I.P. Corn Gaines, man. R.I.P. Corn Gaines. Shout out to everybody in Baltimore that, you know what I'm saying? R.I.P. to Corn Gaines. You feel me? She got killed. She got killed in her own home for taking up a right that them old gun-toting Second Amendment beating their chest, I believe, in the right to bear arms as conservatives, then nudge. And they shot her son. You feel me? And shit, I feel like the black community, I thought we should have been a little bit more moved by that death. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, but this is what I'm saying. I don't want to overly put the onus, because tropes and narratives and spectacles absolutely exist, and they create and determine a lot of how we end up occupying center stage, if ever we get it, right? And I agree with that. Has a great point, and this is what I want to get back to with these slippages, is that he says it reminds me of the IG chain post of black men getting other black men to post about not tearing down other black men, right? And so it's this cacophony of black madness that even we have built a relationship to, right? Stop killing our sons and our daughters, not realizing that even from slavery, right, social death has started to be impressed on the souls of women who are having their bodies taken and stuff like, you know what I'm saying? So when it becomes such an opportunity to be introspective about what it is that we do to ourselves, you know, to understand gender and the phenomena of it. But we are all, I'll call myself a pseudo scholar of anti-blackness. I know what I know, but I also know about the genderless notions.
Pseudo.
I mean, bro, I was out here talking about equality, oppression, and unified.
Yeah, but hey, Damo, how many debates did she judge?
Pseudo.
Enough. What I will say about my knowledge of anti-blackness is that the understandings of gender are only useful insofar as your understandings of the genderlessness of how black bodies are engaged with by laws, by the gratuity of violence, by the free falling, you know, nature of what it means to encounter a black body from a white scope and a white lens. And so, like, if it's that equal opportunity, right? I literally posted my cousin. I told y'all I had that post of 100 women and girls who had been killed by the police. And my cousin was like, I always knew it was real, but I didn't know it was this real. And white supremacy is equal opportunity. We know that.
Equal opportunity.
So it comes back to talking about the capital P police, but also talk about, because I think if maybe we talked about the lower P police, we would start talking about more Black women and how they get policed, right?
Mm-hmm.
By the Karens of the world, by the systems, by the micromanaging. You know what I'm saying? And so we gotta have bigger and more totalistic conversations about just the eradication of Black life. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? But what we're asking for, I'm gonna show y'all a great example, right? And Lee, I don't even know if you remember, but I know I had this conversation with you about I had created a program called Black You, right? And it was way back when I was first trying to get into my HD stuff. And the whole notion of Black You was to mature. I wanted to do cultural sensitivity training specifically in regards to Black people, and I wanted to mature the vocabulary of these conversations from racism to anti-Blackness. Right. This was like 3 or 4 years ago when I was like, we don't really understand what's happening because our vocabulary is so infantile and so elementary in terms of what's really happening. So we are getting POC, we're getting diversity initiatives, we're getting multiculturalism and locking arms and shit because we're not talking about anti-Blackness. Right. And so now we see that the vocabulary is developed into things being anti-Black. Oh, my goodness gracious. I just saw No Name asking for literature on Afro-pessimism. And shout out to Anthony for retweeting it for me. But No Name was on Twitter talking about, can somebody send me some text or some literature on Afro-pessimism? I've been meaning to read up about that. Nigga, since when?
Yeah.
Since when? What? You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping that we start to get to understanding. I'm hopeful. We got to be slow. We got to remember we ain't read the things. They ain't read what we read. They ain't read.
Toya,
we done.
The amount of, I'm always surprised by how unfamiliar most people are with just critical race theory in general.
Yeah.
People really don't know that there's entire fields of scholarship dedicated to not just understanding race, but understanding Blackness.
Just Black shit.
You feel me?
Just Black shit.
It's they whole catalog is just full of writing and understanding Blackness.
Yeah, and with that being said,
and people don't know that.
People wanted to say this real simple, man. Believe it or not, contrary to popular belief, it's a whole section in the library. They got Black scholars that's writing about sexuality, gender, institution, power, philosophy, religion, all that shit. Black people that's doing it through the Black lens, right? But I started this conversation talking about how Black Lives Matter doesn't have any asterisks, and we kind of all agree with that. I think when we talk about Black women, you know what I'm saying? I think that we have to kind of be very purposeful with our language. You know what I'm saying? And I think that when we start talking about Black women, you feel me? I purpose this conversation with this, man. Regardless of how you feel about that trans shit, regardless of how you feel about trans identities, whether you agree, disagree, we can get into that whole other episode. Regardless of how you feel on that shit, you got to have some humanity and understand, do you feel like they should not be beat up or murdered by the police or by our own people? And with that being said, you feel me? R.I.P. to Tony McDay and say your name, Iana Dior. Before I go into asking any questions, Toya Adamo, do you have anything to just say on that?
I think. Oh, go ahead, Toya.
Adamo, please.
Nigga is polite. I think it's interesting that you use the word humanity because niggas don't understand how minimalist they take that word. You feel me? And they use that word. And if you don't fit within one person's understanding of what a human is supposed to be, whether you a male human, a female human, whether that should be the only type of human you should be, you know what I'm saying? You don't get the title of, you know what I'm saying? You don't get humane treatment based on removing yourself from certain norms and shit. You feel me? I'm a person in a body that don't match me. And because people don't understand that, I can't grasp that concept, what they do is they remove their humane treatment from them because of that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so it's we can't even talk to them about humanity because they don't understand it. You can't ask why aren't they being treated humanely because they not looking at these people as humans. You know what I'm saying? That's the main problem. They even say, even to be funny, they be trying to say the it's.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The alphabet people. That type of
people.
shit.
It's literally a thingification or objectification or dehumanization that follows with people that don't orient their sexuality the way that everybody want them to, or people that don't conform to gender identity the way that everybody want them to, especially in the Black community. So when I say Ayanna Dior, I feel like it's really important for me to go in detail with this, because I feel like the shit pissed me off, right? What does it mean for the whole?
Hold on. Before we move on. You asked Toya the question too. So I was saying, yeah, because he was saying, like, in terms of, how people react to like specifically trans women, in terms of how this violence take place. I said, when he brought up, why aren't they treated humanely, or why they deny humane treatment, I was specifically saying because they not viewed as human to these people, to the people that go through those circumstances. They're not viewed as human.
The only thing that I would add to that is, I think, people have a hard time not having jurisdiction over shit. And so it is very peculiar for niggas to not be able to over-determine, to police, to dictate and determine things like people's sexual organs or what they do with them, and because they can't control them, they attempt to, like, over-impose some type of control over it in the moments that we interact. Right. And so it's just like, since I can't control how you fucking, what you do and who you like and how you present and how you understand yourself in the bedroom, I'm gonna just make sure I get you together now about that shit. You know what I'm saying? And so it speaks to, like, a jurisdiction that people like to occupy, that niggas like to, like, occupy, that individuals like to assume over other people's bodies. It's just like, you want to try to claw for every ounce of control you can over somebody else's body, because you know that those things are things that, because they're so private, you can't control. Does that make sense? Like, it's just, it's like, it's an infatuation with power. You know what I'm saying? Like, the desire to police niggas, and policing.
The desire to police.
I keep coming back to the little P police, because you can be mad about the big P police, but if you have taken up the politics and the practices of the oppressor, and you have become a police to your own people, you just as bad as any other capital P police that we can have in our lives, right? So it is very important that we talk about this lower P policing that happens, right, when you feel like you can assert yourself, assert your opinion, assert bodily harm over me, over something private that ain't got nothing to do with you, that you'll never
got nothing to do with you
about past this interaction.
Just really ain't got nothing to do with you.
And I offend you, or we bump into each other, something like that, and you got to call me a it or a she male or a he she or whatever problematic language that you got. That is your moment of capturing power over some shit that has to do with me that you can't control in the bedroom, because you'll never get there. That you can't control when I get dressed, because you'll never see what genitals I have one way or another.
And why you pressed about what's in their pants anyway, man? Like, why are you so pressed about that shit?
That lowercase p gonna play you every time, right? And that is what I think becomes systematic and reflective of niggas trying to grasp the power that they don't have in their real lives, because they realize they can't control and dictate and determine how their own bodies are interpreted or dealt with, because they can't be an upstanding nigga in their own communities, because they automatically gonna be seen as a thug, and so they don't get to be trans and say, okay, I'm not that nigga, this, and so they upset for other people living their truth. You know what I'm saying? It's really kind of wild. That lower people needs to get you every time.
And you know what, Toya? We're gonna stick with that framing. The lower P police. So the Ayanna Dior incident that happened is Black trans woman has a fender bender in Minneapolis, Minnesota, literally while all this protesting and rioting and all that shit going down in Minneapolis right now. So, the entire world is looking at what's going on in Minneapolis in terms of how they orient themselves towards Black life, right? If you watch this video, you just look up this woman's name, you're going to see a whole bunch of Black people literally calling this woman all out her name and literally dragging her by her body outside the store. You see a cisgender Black woman saying, bitch, I don't give a fuck if you a nigga. I don't give a fuck this, that, and the other. Bring your ass outside, right? You see a couple niggas that look like me and Damo pick this transgender woman up, take her outside the damn store, and then all of a sudden want to be on some macho man shit like, hell no, that's a nigga. She can't fight. He can't fight her. That's a nigga. Setup. Complete setup.
Complete.
This is why I asked y'all a question though, right? Am I being on some sucker shit if I say, hey, right now white people trying to concoct a narrative that Black people only care about Black lives mattering when it's being brutalized or beat up by white folks or by cops. If I use that narrative and talk about, you know what I'm saying, the lack of caring of Ayanna Taylor, of Ayanna Dior, am I being on some sucker shit?
Well, do you mean with sucker shit as in you agreeing with
taking a narrative? No, I'm taking a narrative. I'm taking a narrative and I'm applying it to this specific instance right here.
Nah, I think it's a matter of you being able to talk about what you know about. You know what I'm saying? White people, in a world where black on black crime is not a real thing and intercommunal violence is, white people need to talk to white people about serial killers and about all types of mass and homicides. Those are conversations y'all not having with y'all people. So don't worry about the conversations we have with niggas about violence against niggas. Now, there are intersections there that queerness opens up a door to that make people feel like they deserve and belong a seat at the table and having these conversations. But when it's all said and done, there are internalized hate. There are questions about separations and divisions. There are ways that anti-blackness and white supremacy have been made to separate niggas from each other and find difference within each other that we still have to sort out, that we have to get a control over, but that we also have to recognize as systemic and structural based on white violence and white shit. Right, we have been pitted against each other in a whole bunch of unique ways that have only become more and more developed and intricate and intertwined as social life develops itself. You know what I'm saying? So let's not act brand new like the division against niggas and between niggas and the violence that happens against us is not also carefully orchestrated by white people. You don't get to opt out of this. You are responsible for this shit too.
And that is why that little P policing is so much bigger than that big P policing. Because if you can buy into the narratives that they want you to buy into about other black people, we'll police ourselves. You feel me? If for example, if we got
literally the definition.
No, if we have the Candace Owens of the world, you feel me? And that's why you have those type of people have such big followings like me. We talk about all the time. It's so easy to build a social media following as a black conservative. If all you want to do is sit around bashing black people, you will have 100,000 followers by the end of the month. I guarantee it.
Hey, listen, y'all. Right now, you can go on to TikTok and go follow, or you just look at the page. I made it in 3 days. In 3 days. I wish I had my hat right here around me, man. I got a MAGA hat. It say "Make America Great Again" with a big ass question mark on it. I made 3 videos. In 3 days, I've gained 10,000 followers, and I'm making fun of conservatism and literally exposing it for its insidious nature about how this shit is anti-black. White people are eating out of my hands of me chastising black folks. I'm literally
satire.
I'm talking. It's straight satire, but it's like I'm talking about literally. They're talking about things like literally saying, "You are the voice that we need to unify this country." And I'm talking shit about black people. In 3 days, 10,000 people, man. 10,000.
And that's what I'm saying, bro. It's nothing. It's nothing. Because all they want to do is know that it's people in our communities that view us the way that they view us. Oh, yeah. That's why even like, and let's take it to a deeper level. One of the most
satisfaction we get when we find out that all white people ain't completely fucked up and ain't completely lost their mind, right? It does something.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like the phenomenon of white kids arguing with their parents.
Yeah.
Like that's the new thing, right? Like kids is going viral for exposing how racist they fucking parents is. Kids are like, no, Dad, Black Lives Matter, Dad. All lives matter, Jennifer. That's racist. All lives matter.
I was one white girl take the task both at the same time. It was like, hey, let me tell you something. If OU debate wasn't trying to do what they was doing, nasty with it. Look, you get the parents cooking, like that?
Cooking, right? Because what's happening here is we see that as long as, because we glad that that's happening in that instance, right? But we know that little girl ain't got no power in changing shit. You feel me? Like, yeah, she can go back and forth, but having black people, small p, police other black people with the respectability politics of whiteness as it relates to race, as it relates to gender, as it relates to capital, as it relates to sex, as it relates to all of that shit.
Any of the
you feel me? Right. But as when we're like, when we are turning our back on other black people because they don't fit within the normative standard of white society, that's us doing the job of whiteness. That's that small p police. You know what I'm saying? When we disavow
the internalization of black inferiority, the internalization
Exactly.
of white supremacy.
Like when we disavow black, like the violence inflicted on black trans people, the violence inflicted on black women, you feel me? When we attempt to create, instead of having that parallel, when we attempt to create a hierarchy, you know what I'm saying? But you know, with black men, you know, black men are the leaders. You know, the only reason why that's happening to the black women is because the black men ain't the leaders. Like it's like, no, bro. No. Like
that even makes sense, fam. Black men being killed because they ain't leaders.
Or black women being killed because black men ain't leaders.
Stop.
You know what I'm saying?
Like,
silly shit like that. You feel me? That's the self-policing that we do to the point where we incapacitate ourselves. We debilitate it because we so busy trying to conform to an ideology that's not
said debilitated. Let's count the syllables in that one. Debilitated. Folk
Ted, honey, you missing one.
Hey, he from Texas. He from Texas. Don't put it against him. He from Bryan, Texas.
Sorry.
Hey. Well, this to cap it off, man. Cap it off, man. When it comes to the understanding of police brutality in the black community, what would y'all advocate that we start accounting for in terms of black trans people also being murdered by the police and being brutalized by people that look like us three?
Like, what do we need to do?
Like what we need to do? What are we advocating for? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's the, like, I feel like, how do we account for it and help other people account for it?
I mean, it's hard. You gotta find. I had a really, really, really good conversation with. I won't drop the name because I'm gonna drop some incriminating details about the person. But some of our little kinfolk, you know what I'm saying, definitely out here.
Getting it in.
Brilliant, you know what I'm saying? Just wonderful head on the shoulders, handling business, bright future, doing great things now. And some of those things everybody might not necessarily agree with, but the young man is thriving, right? And what he's doing, I had to shout him out because he shared George's post about Ayanna Dior, about trans, and knowing the nigga that he is and the niggas that he rock with. I'm like,
it blew my mind too.
I was like, you better go. And so he's like, hey man, you know what I'm saying? I'm not scared of nothing and nobody. And I'm gonna have real conversations with my people about our people because that's basically who I am. And so I was like, how them conversations been going? Man, I've been really out here just trying to get people to understand the importance and the liberate. But so he was like, so I be telling them this, and then he started breaking it down. And my biggest piece of advice for him, brother, was, again, like I said before, and what I told y'all, they ain't read what we read, ain't seen what they seen. You need to have some strong, clear, just one line, very direct statements, interrogative questions. Allow for these people, especially if they're willing to sit down with you and they coming to you for guidance about it. You know what I'm saying? And even if they ain't, you don't need to have the whole, don't throw them the whole thing, how-to book right now. You need to give them nuggets to put in their pocket and chew on and sit on. Hey, this is what I'm gonna share with you about it, and I want you to sit on this. I want to argue with you. I got a lot of faith in you and your love for black people. So this is what I'm gonna leave you with, and we can put a pin in it. And then just give them a little nugget.
The purpose of that video too is to try to do that too. As the purpose of that video is like, you know what, I've kind of given up on trying to just make niggas just completely cool with trans shit. But you got to be able to agree. You don't get no stripes for whooping on a trans woman. Period. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to find those kind of reductive path to get people to just understand and agree with. Do you agree that in a world where you ain't never gonna be in their bedroom, ain't never gonna see their genitals, you not concerned with them, right? Because if you are, let's go ahead and have a come to Jesus meeting. But if you're not, well, what's going on under? Can you at least agree that they deserve to live, man? Just live with them tomorrow. Can you agree that they deserve to live enough to disagree with them tomorrow?
I think one of the statements that George made a while back, was straight up just you can't say you give a fuck about black people if that don't include trans black people, if that don't include queer black people, if that don't include
black people,
black, you know what I'm saying?
Black people that can't talk right, that you don't like to talk.
But to make sure we don't get on no all lives matter type shit, you can't say you care about black people and you treat black trans people the way that
like
you
dogs, like animals.
And it's like, it ain't even a question of having to know the answers. It's being open to understand something outside of what you grew up with, outside of what you was taught traditionally. Like that's the biggest thing. I think a part of the problem is that we not willing to question a lot of the normative values that we came up with.
Yeah,
That
man.
especially when we get to this age. You feel me? But the one thing that black people should always be willing to do is question why the fuck they believe what they believe about people that look just like them.
Yeah.
Period.
Come
that
on,
shit.
now.
I mean, off break. Even if you like, I don't really understand. Okay, fine. But who told you what you know? You know what I'm saying? Like, where did you get that from? Question that shit, and then try to understand. I think that's the biggest thing, because it's like even Rashad pointed out in the comments that I use the term female, which I attempt not to do.
Video about that the other day.
You know what I'm saying?
We just had a conversation
exactly.
about
But look, but that's what I'm saying, Toy. We talk.
Yeah.
You feel me? Like we talk. You know what I'm saying? Because niggas, I know I need to do better in a lot of shit. You feel me? Like I'm really a work in progress. You know what I'm saying? In terms of being respectful.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In terms of being respectful, because I got love for everybody, but it's certain nuances that I haven't been privy to that I'm trying to be better at. You feel me? So it's like at least having an understanding of shit. Like, hey, put me in the right direction. You know what I'm saying? These is black people at the end of the day.
We got to start doing niggas, and George, I'm gonna turn back over you to close it like we did Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? Look, when Drew Brees brought up that flag shit, he was off topic. Now, man. That's not what we talking about. Are you for all black? Do you love black people? You know what I'm saying? Because you being mad about them not being natural that's off topic. That's another day. The question at hand is do all Black lives matter? Just it's very
right.
And keeping and this is really my last thing. Remember, matter is a bare minimum. I'm just asking you to validate their existence. Not Black lives have value. Not black lives are the same demand we have for white people is a bare minimum on the spectrum of their relationality to black people. We have simply asked you to acknowledge that niggas.
That's the bottom, the base.
It's bare minimum.
It's the base. Start here.
We'll talk about the rest of it.
Paquito.
But for right now, can you just admit that all Black lives matter?
Paquito.
My God.
Go ahead, cap it off, Julie.
Hey, man. So, capping this off, I'm gonna try to do it real quick too. We know that a lot of times when we start having conversations about sexuality and gender identities in the black community, those conversations usually start talking about some procreation shit. I just want to take this time to talk about how black queer people and black trans people have been able to contribute not only a lot to the present day Black Lives Matter movement, but a history of being able to contribute to the liberation of blackness and black people, right?
With no reciprocity.
With no reciprocity.
I'm
talking about literally black trans people, black gay people will put their blood, sweat, and tears into the movement of black people, and we will not return their love back.
And give none of the.
I'll give you an example. Bayard Rustin. You know, every pro-black person love to talk about the goddamn Million Man March, huh? We love to talk about the Million Man March, but we will literally ignore how Martin Luther King talks about the gay black man Bayard Rustin being one of the masterminds behind the Million Man March and saying it wouldn't be possible without his gay ass. You feel me? Let's do another one. James Baldwin. James Baldwin has impacted so many different black scholars. Oh, let's bring another one in. Oscar Lord. Marsha P. Johnson. Hey, right now it's June. This is the last one I say. I end my rant. Right now, it is June.
Pride Month.
You feel me? June is Pride Month. For y'all that don't know, you feel me? Though June being Pride Month is attributed to the LGBT community, it is very important to recognize that police brutality to a black person is what sparked off the Stonewall riots in 1960s that made it where we have a Pride Month. So when you think about police brutality, make sure you can account for our trans brothers and sisters and our non-gender conforming people. Do not put your pro-black shit as white supremacy and blackface. When you say Black Lives Matter, it has to also account for the black folks that don't sex like you, that don't believe in the same God as you, that don't have the same gender identities that you believe in. Mm-hmm. Yana, I rest my case.
Mm-hmm. And that's the that on that.
Man, and yeah, so y'all know how we typically end it, man. Go to the social media. If you don't follow the page, follow the page. You know what I'm saying? You can find us all at the Chop Up
Before
everywhere.
you drop a love real quick, y'all. Hug that like, hug that love.
Hug the like, hug the
real
love.
quick. Y'all been vibing with us. We've been at least 20 strong this whole conversation. So
yeah, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to y'all, definitely.
And
y'all
then
tuned in.
Nick was dropping comments. Iggy was dropping comments.
Yeah.
Was dropping comments. Who else was in here in the mix? Heavy. Jacoby was dropping comments in this thing. Lamar dropped some comments.
Shit. Tiffany, the loyalist Tiffany. You know what I'm saying?
My sister was in the building. LaSalle,
Nah,
you know
what I'm saying? She's the universal big sister. Tiffany is the universal big sister.
Love to you. We seen the boy. Who else was in here? Young Taco Darius was in the building for a second, hanging out. Hey, we got love for y'all. Thank y'all for rocking with us. Share this episode because it's still timely. It's still relevant. We want people
share this episode, man.
We on Instagram. We on Facebook. We on YouTube. The Chop Up Show. The Chop Up.
Wherever you get your podcast.
Education is elevation. Goddamn it. Education. Education is elevation. Goddamn it.
Yeah.
Yo. Hey, so y'all be easy. This has been the Chop Up.
It's been the Chop Up, man. Hey, coming soon. A better one coming soon. Goddamn.
Hey, somebody send me a new